This is a place for planting, for digging, for harvesting, for relaxing. It's a place to get your hands dirty, but most of all, it's about having fun. And that's what you'll always have when you're in the garden with Doug Oster. You want a green thumb too, don't you? Well, we all know that gardens are ephemeral, always changing, and when the top of this giant oak tree cracked off and took out trees to the left here, it had to come down. And as it's come down and these other trees are gone, look at all the light we have here now. And so when this happens, it's an opportunity to put some really cool trees in here. Now, I could do it this time of the year, but I love planting trees in the fall. That to me is the best time to do it. If I put trees in now, I'm going to be watering all summer long if the rain ever stops. But this is a time for planning, going to the nursery, looking at trees, deciding what could work in here and where they should go. And that's one of the fun things about gardening. This is a disaster zone right now. But when we get some other trees in here and these start to rot away, we're going to work our way around these. I leave all the trees here because I don't want to pay for them to be cut into firewood. All right, let's get to work. I've got some great projects for us today. Well, last week we talked all about planting containers with a thriller in the middle, fillers, and then spillers. But another way that I'm doing this is using perennials. These ivy plants have been in here for 2 years now, and there's no room here for a thriller up here. I'm just going to put a couple plants in here that work for this area. Ivy's a shade lover, and I've got a beautiful shade-loving plant. This is caladium, and I just absolutely love them. And there's just a little space back in here to plant, and man, I think this is going to look great. Caladiums have bulbs in the bottom, and I'm going to save those at the end of the season. I think we can fit at least one more in there. Those roots look just about right. Maybe break them up a little bit. Find another spot in here. And certainly red and green go together. Christmas colors. Christmas in July, Christmas in June. There we go. I think that's going to be perfect. And they're gonna fill this all out, and that red looks nice. All right, I'm going to put one in the basket behind me, and then meet me in the vegetable garden. Looks nice. Well, we got most of our tomatoes in already, but we're going to continue to plant those throughout the season because they love warm soil temperatures. Now, these are the first peppers to go in. This is how late I usually put my peppers in, and I've got a great one that I absolutely love. It's called Super Chili, and it will put on peppers even if it's growing underneath tomato plants. But we've got a nice bed out here and lots of light for it, and a good bed filled with compost. And that's always a good feeling to put them in there. And I'm just going to give them a couple feet between each other, that's all. And I'm going to have lots of hot peppers. This is a hot pepper that will wake you up, but I usually just make hot pepper flakes out of them. But I have another one here called Sweet Heat, which is pretty cool because it just has very mild heat and a real wonderful sweet flavor. All right, that's Sweet Heat, that's Sweet Heat. One more of these Super Chilies. All right, I'm going to finish up putting these peppers in, and then we've got something else pretty cool to plant too. Well, one of the reasons to poke around the nursery is to find something really cool, and that's what I found at Hahn Nursery. This is a combination of morning glories and moonflower. And I always love in this container to grow something that's going to climb onto this little obelisk. And so I'm going to gently remove the little trellis that's on here, but we can't get rid of it. It's already entwined. And I'm going to try and gently put this obelisk over without ruining anything. And I think there's enough room. The thing about morning glory and moonflower, they really don't need a lot from us. But I've got some good compost in here. There we go. And I'm going to put these vines kind of up in here. And hopefully, without doing too much damage, we'll have a nice climbing plant. Oh yeah, this might actually work. You know, and usually I just plant the climber in here, but following my own advice, I got a couple other plants that I'm going to put a filler and a spiller in here too. So I'm actually listening to myself. That's going to work. And that's going to be filled with beautiful flowers in just a short time, and we'll give it a little bit of help to climb up here. All right, you know what? I think that's going to look pretty good using our container technique. All right, let's finish up. Well, it's always fun to think vertical in the garden, and I think that's going to look great when that gets covered up. Now check me out online. That's where you can find out how to come with me on a free tour of the Rose Garden at Renzi Park in McKeesport. You've got to come because it is the greatest collection of roses in Western Pennsylvania. You're going to get to meet the volunteers who care for it. We're going to have so much fun. Now, until next week, I certainly have plenty of containers to fill up with these plants. We'll see you then.